5 years ago, we brought you the story of FRASER, a 12-year-old girl gang-raped and left for dead 30 years ago. Viewers were outraged that the Supreme Court judge who heard the case blamed the young girl for the attack and didn't jail her rapists. One of those, deeply moved by FRASER's courage, was an Australian playwright, HELLIE. She turned the story into a play, and as Josie Taylor reports, Xan didn't just create the production, she's starring in it.
I'm putting myself on the line a little bit, but I just feel it's in my heart and soul to do it. I just want to do it it means everything to me.
FRASER is about to expose the most painful and intimate details of her life in this Perth theatre.
Morning, guys. It's been a very, very therapeutic process. I think it's a very important process, and I think it's very, very ballsy that we're actually doing it, but I'm very proud of it.
You're a friend of Xan's. You've said she was sitting on your lap that night. Was Xan kissing you on the neck?
I think so.
Was she showing off in front of the boys?
No.
You don't think she was?
No.
Was she talking to everybody?
Yeah.
This scene from the play Project Xan is based on real court transcripts. In 1981, Xan, just 12 years old, was plied with alcohol, gang-raped and left for dead. She told her story to 7:30 5 years ago.
It has changed my life forever.
A Supreme Court judge didn't jail the rapists and in his sentencing remarks blamed the young victim.
Had the girl retained some degree of consciousness, it is not beyond the bounds of possibility that in that condition she may have consented to your acts. Who's to know?
The judge, I feel like he raped me again.
I was in a hotel room and I turned on the TV and I was actually working, and just very gradually I started to tune into Xan's story, original story, and I kind of locked into it, and then I realised I was crying. And I had been looking for a project that moved me, and I just knew in the moment, I just went, I think this is it.
Okay, Nick, in terms of that scene, I think you're playing him a little bit too contrite at the start.
Playwright and director HELLIE was one of thousands of viewers compelled to contact FRASER after watching her story.
HELLIE proposed to me that she would like to write a piece based on my story and also around the victim blaming and what still goes on in the community today in rape culture.
There seems to be a genuine misunderstanding about what constitutes consent.
Researching and writing Project Xan took 5 years and drew on court cases from around the world.
We all on this project, every single one of us has had a moment where we realised that we've had some kind of behaviour, often small, that contributes to making assumptions about a woman by the way she dresses or the way she talks, blaming someone or mitigating someone's actions. So saying, well, he was very young, he was very drunk.
This year, a Victorian judge made headlines when he sympathised with a security guard who'd had a sexual relationship with a 14-year-old ward of the state. He said the guard wasn't made of steel and described the teenage victim as worldly.
It's still going on to this day and it's very current. And we need to, as a community and a society, do something about it. And if this helps a little bit, then that's all I really want out of this.
Having been plied with alcohol to the point of unconsciousness, I'm carried by my arms and legs down a street to a secluded bush block where I'm stripped of my clothing and subjected to a litany of indecent sexual activity.
After working so closely with Xan in developing the play, HELLIE decided to cast her in the lead role, playing herself.
In the early hours of the morning, a couple on their way to work see my body on the ground near the car and they call an ambulance. And I'm taken to the QE2 hospital. My first memory is a blur.
Bloody me, what a mess.
Mum! I wake up in a hospital room and I see my mother sitting beside me on the bed and she's crying. I look down and I see scratches and dirt in my fingernails.
What happened to me?
You've been raped.
The material that we're working with isn't particularly pleasant, but it's true. It's what I call an ugly truth.
Exanne Fraser is still pursuing a compensation claim against the Queensland Government. She hopes her play that opens in Perth next week can start changing attitudes.
I feel as though I've been lucky enough to have the platform to speak out, and not everyone gets that opportunity, and I feel as though that in a way I'm blessed that I'm here today and I can help others.